What's up, everybody? This is the Late Night Crew podcast. I'm here.
Not the first official episode.
Uh, I'm here along with my co-host, plural. Oh, okay. Carson and Pablo.
What's up?
I say
Katie's
not
never
first
heard a
official
podcast
podcast
before.
because this isn't our first episode technically.
Yeah.
We have made an episode in the past, but it's not quite the best. It's pretty good though. I won't lie. If we
Depends on who you are. Depends on who you ask.
if you drop 10 likes on this, actually, if this makes it on iTunes, if we get a 5-star review, we'll go ahead and upload our original podcast. But anyway,
We will also read your review.
So, and this podcast, it's going to be kind of like an introductory. We're going to go say who we are and anything we want you to know about us, and then we're going to give you some stories. So, my name is Caden. Carson,
Yes?
stop playing the police siren.
Oh, I didn't know you guys could hear it.
So, my name is
I can absolutely hear it.
Yes, we could hear it. My name is Caden, and I'm a senior in high school. Carson, what are you watching?
I'm editing the video.
What are you editing?
Jesus Christ.
Anywho,
Move on.
I'm Pablo and I'm in high school as well, a junior.
Carson.
I didn't mean to. I'm not even lying.
All right, who are you, Carson?
Great start. I like this already.
I'm a senior in high school. Not committed to a college yet, but we'll see
Oh.
where we're going.
So, I guess I should say. So since Carson and I are both seniors, obviously we're gonna go to college and hopefully get some podcasts out of that. Right now, my top school is Kennesaw State, which is near Atlanta in Georgia. Whoops, just got a Tinder notification. We're gonna ignore that.
I didn't hear it, so
So, we're each going to give 2 of our best stories.
I think we should talk more about ourselves.
Oh.
I'm not gonna...
All right.
yeah, I still haven't thought of my second one.
All right. So, let's talk about how we met each other and, became friends. So,
Soccer.
Back.
End of story.
that's for you, Carson. Carson and I becoming friends with you. Carson and I were not friends when we first met.
Oh, that is a fact. He hated me.
So I disliked you because one of his cousin and my friend at the time, this was 3rd grade, he didn't like Carson. And since I was friends with him, my thought process is if he doesn't like him, I don't like him. And me not liking Carson then made Carson not like me, which makes sense. And so what grade? It was probably freshman year of high school when we actually, maybe 8th grade. Either way,
I'd say it was before that because whenever you came back, you instantly sat beside me.
it was because you so near end of 7th grade is when we actually became started talking, we became friends. So 3rd to 7th we I'd say we stopped hating each other in 5th, but just didn't say anything to each other until 7th.
Yeah.
And I guess the way we bonded was in math class, you wouldn't do your homework, and I sat next to you, and you would give excuses to the teacher that I found hilarious, saying you had to work a double shift at Bilo or Ingalls. I don't know why. Yeah. And so you couldn't do your homework. And we were in middle school, so none of us had jobs. So I just thought that was the funniest thing in the world. So we became friends through that. And we didn't meet Pablo. Or no, we met Pablo. But we weren't.
Did you?
Yes, we knew. We became we became friends with Pablo 8th grade year, right? Like in middle school. We became friends, but we weren't like close friends. And
yeah,
like
I wouldn't
once
say
we went,
good friends.
but like once we got to high school, we like stopped talking to him because like you're pretty separated from middle school and high school. So like once that happened, like
You're different. We're in different buildings.
Full disclosure, we go to a K through 12 school, so we've been
it's like 400
like, in the same
kids.
school for a long time. 400 kids, like it'd be impossible to avoid somebody.
But like
400, not even.
Yeah, less than 400.
I think it's like 352, isn't it, right now?
Something like that.
Well, the freshman class brought it up because they had 50 people.
But so there's a total of 3 buildings. One building, which is the biggest building, has the elementary wing and the high school wing and a what we call the old gym because it's the old gym.
It's been there for a while.
Then we have a 2-story building that's pretty small, like real small. That's the middle school art and music building. And then we have a whole building next to the elementary wing, and it's the new gym, even though it's like 9 years old at this point. Mm-hmm. That's just what we call it. And it's just a basketball gym. But like the high school wing and the middle school building are on opposite sides. And like obviously you see them, but like, you know, like you don't really like ever have time to stop and talk. And I don't think we didn't like text or anything. So like we didn't really keep in touch until our
my sophomore year.
No, we started talking again your freshman, our sophomore. But I'd say we became tight, like really tight. Are really close. Carson and I junior, and then your sophomore. Because like we played soccer and ran track.
Phenomenal.
Oh my god.
And to add on to it, we'll have some good stories for the podcast later on because of track coming back. Pablo and I will be there. Caden is undecided.
And I'm going to take acid. Just kidding. Maybe. No, honestly, if I ran track, it'd straight up just be for the people. Like it would
That's the only reason I'm doing it.
So, honestly, I think we became closer friends during track than soccer because you just get so much time during. Yeah, because you just get so much time during track. Because we don't our track. By the way, our track team until last year, or the year before?
Not even last.
Like no, it got more than 10 people last year, right?
Something like that.
Really, sorta.
Well,
I don't remember honestly.
So last year was like the first year our track team had more than 10 people, and like before that, like when Carson and I did it our freshman and sophomore year, like those 2 years. There was 2 people that we ran track with out of those 2 years that actually got points like in track. And one was a guy and one was a girl. And
Wait,
one
I got us
Oh yeah, Carson got his points. So I guess 3 people. What? I was thinking of Remy and
Montana.
Yeah.
And Blakely. And
oh shoot. Okay, there's just more people than I thought. So what? That's 4. They were the only y'all were the only 4 that got points. Oh, yeah, I got points in 2 Mile one time.
Oh yeah, you did.
But there was only like 5 people that ran it, so like it wasn't. And one of them was Damien, and he was not.
Okay, okay.
Anyway, our track team sucks. Like we would get a max, like because girls and guys are separated. Our girls, our freshman year, got like. They would beat teams by themselves because like other teams would suck that bad. They'd get like 7 points, and then like with the guys, like we'd get 0 except for Carson. Every now and then, when Carson tried, he would get us like 3 points, 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3 points. I got us the max amount that one time I ran the 400. Remember that? I was like half a lap behind.
And then you realized you had to start running.
Because it was my first time running. Okay, I'm gonna go slow at the beginning, feel it out. Then it was around the first corner, and I was starting the first sprint, like the first straightaway, and they were ending it. And I looked at Profe Keen, our track coach, and I was just like, and he was like, I could tell he was like, "What are you doing? You need to go faster." And I was like, "Oh, this whole thing is supposed to be a sprint." So I started sprinting, and I caught up to these guys. Everyone was like cheering for these two guys, like because they're from the same school. They're racing each other, like, "Oh yeah, you got it, let's go." Then I come in behind them, just like, boom, like they're so slow. I come in and just pass them both up, and then everyone just like goes silent, like what?
Yo, in the 2 mile though, there was 5 people running it, and one of them was on our track team. He's a heavier guy. Like he was literally running the 2 mile for the joke of it. Like this was our last meet. Like it didn't count for anything. So he did it, and I was like, you know what? I'll do it with him. So I'm running it with him the first 2 laps. What? It's 8 laps.
Mm-hmm.
On lap 4 or 5, he told me because like he realized everyone except like 2 guys were actually going super slow. Or no, there was only 1 guy actually going fast, and so he was like, hey, like you should actually try. Like you can win this. And, like, we had been lapped by that 1 guy once, so it's not like he was even that far ahead. So I was like, you know what? I'll try. So I start going. There's 1 guy. He's only half a lap ahead of us. I pass him in the first lap of me trying. The second guy, it came down to the last lap. Like, he was, like, 50 meters away, and I was, like, 75, and it was a dead sprint. And I think we finished almost at the same time. I think I ended up getting second. That was the only time I won points, and it was because 5 people ran. And 3 of them were out of shape.
Win's a win.
It's true. And then Pablo won points recently in the long jump.
Mm-hmm.
But we weren't running track, so we didn't see it.
Well, the thing about this year is I'm not doing any running events. I'm doing shot put, and I think I'm going to try high jump. But that's it.
I'm just going to do the 100 meter. That's it. If I'm allowed, I'm just doing the 100 meter.
I think you have to do 2 events.
Then I'll do long jump.
Coach will let us do one. Coach will let us do one.
Yeah, I bet he would.
Long jump, I'm scarred. That one time I tried to do it, and I jumped, and I didn't even make it past the concrete because I didn't know what I was doing.
Dude, I just pretend to, like, count out my steps and everything like that. I wing it every time. I have no idea what I'm doing.
You're supposed to wing it every time.
No, but like those guys like count out their steps. Like Profe was like my freshman year was like giving me all this advice, and I'm like, I'm just gonna run and think when I'm at the white line to jump. Like that's what I do. I can scratch.
That's what I do.
I can
I was
scratch.
able to score points.
I can scratch 3 times in a row. I don't care. I really don't.
It's a good mentality to have when you just stop caring and you just accept that you're going to lose. Because you're going against schools that actually have good runners.
I'm out there jumping 15 feet at my like max. I also haven't jumped in a while though. And then there's this guy that's over there floating like Michael Jordan getting 25 feet. I'm like, how am I supposed to do that? Like that kid's almost out of the sand pit. Like I didn't even make it to regionals, and this kid's over here breaking the NC record, and like this is just a normal meet, and so I'm like, how am I supposed to win with that?
You don't.
That's true. Trip him when he's running.
You blow on him as he's going by.
It just completely throws him off.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying, it seems like a pretty off topic.
We were talking about how we met.
It's
and we got...
fine. That's the best way to do it. Is just going off topic.
All right. So, should we do a story?
See, the thing about it is, this is for the audience. Us 3 together don't really have stories except for that time we tried to kidnap Pablo.
Oh, all 3 of us are like just individually.
The time we went to the
all 3 of us don't have
rainwater
stories
house.
The time we went to I don't know, that's not really a good story.
If you tell your story...
Yours is really good.
But if you tell your story, our story, like, it works with it.
It corroborates you. It corroborates your story.
Talk about the time that we kidnapped Pablo that one time.
All right. I do want to say one story that I did individually. Because
you should go first.
All right. So, at the time, I had a girlfriend.
Where is this going?
Dude, this is going to be pretty funny.
You told me you were going to tell this.
I know. So, this girl...
I was not told.
I'm gonna.
Okay,
but continue.
So this girl and we had been talking for like 3 months, and she didn't want
What's
to
her
get.
name?
Huh?
What's her name?
Trick you. We're gonna call her. We're gonna
trick you.
So
TikTok.
Just keep saying her. Just keep saying her.
We had been talking for like at the time, like when this happened, we were like 5 months in, but 3 months of that we were just talking because she didn't want to be in a relationship. Like we were basically dating. There's just no title. And like after 3 months, she was like, "Okay, I'm ready. Like let's put a title on it." And I was like, "Okay." So like we were boyfriend girlfriend. Like 2 months later, her mom and stepdad were out of town. Her parents are divorced, and so her mom's house was like it was open, and she was dog sitting, so she had to be there either way. And she came up with that. I think we both came up with it. I'm not gonna say she did it by herself because I think I definitely had a part. That we would say we were going to a movie late at night with one of her friends, and we had to go late because her friend didn't get off work until late. And so that gave us from like, we get out at school at 3. So that gave us from 3 o'clock to like 12 at night to do whatever. But she did work, so we had to wait till 5. So after 5, we headed there, right? Like just kind of relaxed. Like I think we even took a nap. So like 7 o'clock comes around. Now, by the way, her mom like is kind of crazy. Like she has her her mom has her neighbors come and check on this girl while she's dog sitting to make sure she has no one over. Like they won't even knock on the door sometimes. They'll just look through the window. So it's kind of weird. So like we had to like pay attention for that. And like her mom had specifically said no, but nobody allowed, like no one, no friends, nothing. Because like last time she had friends over, some money went missing, and so it became a rule, no, like nobody over, doesn't matter who. And so we made dinner, we ate it, and then so I get it. I'm sitting on the couch. She goes to the she says she has to use the bathroom, so she goes to the bathroom. And she's like, "Hey, can you come here?" And I don't know why, but this was my first thought. I was like, "Oh, she fell in. I'm gonna have to go and pull her out of the toilet." I don't know why I thought that. Like she's older than me, and I'm 18. So like, I'm like, how did you fall in the toilet? So I walk in there. I don't see her.
Our audience thinks she's like 10.
Just clarify, she was older than me. So if anything was illegal, it was on her part, not mine. But it's legal. I promise.
Strictly platonic.
So I walk in there. She's not there, and I'm like, all right, she's gonna like scare me. So she comes out from. She doesn't scare me. She comes from back of the door, and I mean, I'm just gonna say she wasn't fully clothed, right? So, so we start doing stuff, and there's this knock on the door. I freak out.
Go ahead and imitate one of the sounds.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do the knock on the door.
Oh no. I just went straight in for it.
No, we weren't there yet because I still had my underwear on. By the way, I was wearing cheetah print American Eagle underwear, so like already like great start. Knock on the door.
Oh my god.
She's scared. I'm terrified.
Yeah, you should be.
And so she throws on a robe, like acts like she was like, I don't know, out of the shower or something.
Shower.
And I go in the bathroom. There's this closet, like a towel closet. I'm hiding in there. We know it's a neighbor coming to check. Like we know that. But the thing is like if the neighbor walks in the bedroom, because like there's clothes everywhere, so it's not like she's gonna like walk in and like I'm safe as long as she doesn't open the closet, because my clothes are out there, my phone, my wallet, everything's out there. Like if she starts looking around, she will find me. So I'm scared. It's probably 5 minutes, but like it feels like hours. Like I'm just sitting there terrified. 5 minutes later, the door starts opening up. I'm like, I'm screwed. They caught me. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it's not gonna be good. And it's.
You don't think you're gonna get beat up or?
No, because I knew the neighbor's a girl, so like, and she's like an older lady.
Single.
She's like old, like 60.
You could have sweet talked her.
Being like, hey, so
Missed opportunity.
We're about to start something. If
you're, hey, you know, I don't believe three's a crowd, if you know what I mean. But
keep going.
So opens the door, and it's my girlfriend at the time, and I just like, I don't think the only time I've been that nervous was my second story that I'll tell later if we get to it. It'll make it in the podcast, I can promise you that. But I'd never been so scared in my life. Like, that was the scariest moment. And then, like, after that happened, we didn't have any more problems. Except the fact, Pablo, I don't think I ever told you this, but I told my mom that when we went to the movies, you were there with Jose, and I asked.
That would have been bad if she would have asked me about it.
I asked if I could stay the night with you, pretending that, like, you were there, and had said I could. And my mom would have my mom would have said yes, but we had to go to visit our grandparents the next day, or my grandparents, her mom and dad. So she told me no, but I used you as an excuse because I was going to try to stay the night.
Hey, whatever works.
It didn't work, but it
would have worked.
It would have.
Bro, that's like what that one guy did to me when he was dating my ex.
Yeah. He used your house as an excuse to stay at your ex's house.
Bro, if only his mom knew that I lived an hour away.
I think she did though. Like that. I think the whole point was that you were so far that like she like couldn't really like call BS.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, but like still, I mean, like
look, if you ever need somewhere to stay, just use Pabby.
Yeah, that's what I did.
It'll work out. A lot of people actually have used my name, so.
Probably gets asked about it. He's like, no, Caden wasn't at my house on that Thursday.
Caden was not at my house on that Thursday.
No. It was Friday. I'm not that bad. I wouldn't do that on a school night. You see? All right.
Caden, I know you were down in a 5-hour energy in the hopes that you just...
Good God.
I brought extra protection.
That 5-hour energy will really
if you think
do
about
a number on you.
If you think about it, a yarmulke is like a condom for Jewish people, but like as in their thoughts. Okay, moving on.
So there I was, barbecue sauce on my titties.
Okay. You're telling the story. So I was in the closet right there, barbecue sauce on my titties.
And I'm like, that's where I leave it. That was the story.
Okay, yeah, and that's about it.
All right, so Carson, I think you should tell us your story about the mansion, and then we'll talk about the first time we went, because we all three went.
So there's this mansion called Undisclosed Name, because I don't know why I feel like I should make it undisclosed.
And I don't want people knowing where we even the general area.
Like
Googling it. I think it's still demolished, but it's
It is demolished.
It's fine.
I'm not even Googling it or anything.
Yeah.
But
I think I said it earlier.
No, I don't think it is.
It's fine.
If I did, we can just cut it out later.
Yeah.
So we were. It's an abandoned mansion, pretty much, owned by these rich people. It was the set of a Japanese-inspired movie.
I thought it was a horror movie, wasn't it?
Japanese horror movie, Japanese-inspired horror movie.
I don't know if it was a Japanese.
That's what the sign said.
It was like,
that's probably giving away too much as it is. So take it as
dude,
it's whatever.
No, they would
trust what I'm saying.
They won't be able to find it because like we couldn't even find it.
So
that's true.
I pull up in my car, right? And I have a loudish car. Like I have an exhaust on it. You could hear me if I pulled up. So I pulled up, backed into the spot. I was 100% confident no one was there because the last time we went. So
Nobody was there.
I was making this video about the mansion. And so I decided I want to start off on the bottom because the front door is locked. The bottom has a way to get in.
Sketchy.
Yeah, it's kind of sketchy. So
the plan was originally for me to come with you, but
the plan was for Caden to come with me and make this video, but
I don't remember why I couldn't
decided against, or he had something. I think he didn't have a car back then. So I was down there. I was walking towards the sliding door, and I heard and I was talking because I was filming, so I was talking, and vlog, this guy, yeah, it was kind of like yeah. And I walked by a door frame, and I put the camera towards it, and it just shows door busted down. It wasn't busted down the last time we were there, and there's just rubble all on the ground, someone went in there and raided it. And I was like, yo, that's crazy. Someone's been here since last time. That's insane. And then I hear kind of running, but more fast walking, away from me.
Shuffling.
Yeah,
fast shuffling.
Fast shuffling, trying to be quiet, but also trying to get away from me quick so I don't see him. And then I was like, oh, they're still here. And so I decided okay, that's got to be in my head. There's no way that wouldn't happen. I keep walking.
Do you still have the video?
I think it's somewhere in my files on my PC.
The vlog never made it onto YouTube.
It didn't.
It's fine. I want to watch this. I wonder if we can still hear it, honestly.
You could hear the footsteps in the camera.
Yeah, you could?
Yeah.
If
nice.
you have to listen, though, because it's pretty faint.
Yeah.
But if you listen, you hear a big, a bigger thud, and then you hear little patters.
That'll come later in the story.
Okay.
So then I walked through, and there's another door, but there's a window in between. So I went up, peeked in the window, didn't see anything. So I went to this doorway, looked in there, checked. I was like, okay, that was definitely in my head. So I go up to the the slide, and it is shattered. It's laid out. Oh, what's it? It is shattered all over the floor. I'm like, yo, it's unlocked all the time. There's no reason you need to shatter this. What is going on? So I step into their huge living room area, and you turn around, there's this beautiful view, all glass, and you can just see over the mountains. It's a great view. And then I step and I hear a creak, and I'm like, oh, that's just me. It's a little creaky. And then I stand there for a little bit because I guess my instincts kicked in or something.
And you could feel
and I wasn't talking or anything, so I was just listening. On the floor below me.
Carson?
Yo, can you guys hear me fine?
I can now.
Where did I cut out at?
Floor below you.
Yeah.
That's what you said last.
There was a big thud on the floor below me, and I was like, oh, that was not in my head. And I stand there in shock for maybe 20 seconds. Then I hear pattering. It sounded like it was coming towards the steps, to go upstairs, where I was. So I walk over there, trying to be as quiet as possible, but the floor was creaking. And I
you
look
felt
over.
Ballsy.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I wanted to see who this was, but I didn't at the same time. So went over and I looked down at the stairs, and there was nothing there. It was all pitch black. And so I'm like, okay, I still got to stay here because I want to get this in the video. And there's this safe that we found last time I was there, and I don't think Pablo knew about it till I saw it last time, right? Or you did know about it?
I think I knew about it, but I just didn't know what was behind it because
Yeah.
it's never been unlocked.
And
even when it wasn't, even before the mansion itself was in bad condition.
Yeah. So before, I was there with Pablo and Caden. It was locked. It was closed. There was nothing I could do. So I went over there to look at it because I thought it was really cool that it was just not open and couldn't see anything in there. It was open and bare empty. And I was like, yo, what is going on? So I'm a little
mad sketchy.
Yeah. So I'm well, this is sketch. I don't know what these rich people were doing to get their money or whatnot. So I start heading back through the sliding door to get to where I was. And at this point, I'm like, okay, I don't care. I don't want to see this guy. Just get him on video. I don't want to do anything. So I walk by, and then I go by that door where I heard him the first time. And I look in, and I don't know why, but I go, yo. And I don't hear anything police. And like nothing happened. Like they're not making any noise. Like police stand out and not stand out. Like come out, like just because I figured that my voice is deep.
That would coax
my
them
voice
into
is
coming
deep
out.
enough. My voice is deep enough to make them think, I guess. And they didn't do anything, so I started to walk away. And I was like, okay, maybe it was all in my head. Like maybe it was, yeah. And then I like started walking away, and I heard the footsteps, and I thought they were coming towards me. So I like darted to my car, started it, and just skirted out of there real quick. Well, I didn't skirt out of there, actually. I parked like 50 yards away from the house and instantly called Caden because Pablo didn't answer or something like that.
Yeah, I remember
I was like, Caden, you will not believe. And I was shaking, like my phone was shaking, like my body was shaking. I was like, Caden, something.
I wish they hadn't torn that building down. I really wish we would have gone back sooner.
Yeah, now it's just a like flat plane of grass. But Caden, what was I like on that phone?
So, I'm not gonna say Carson never gets scared, but Carson never shows that he's scared. Like he's never like.
He's stolid. He's very placid.
Yeah, like
he doesn't show very emotion.
Doesn't scream, like doesn't jump, like nothing like that. In this phone call, like I'm expecting like, hey, like is there any chance like you could come up to town because like we were supposed to hang out, but like I couldn't. So I was like thinking it was gonna be like that. I answered. He's like stuttering, like can't even get like words out to begin with, and he's like ends up telling me what happened, and is like he's just terrified, like petrified, like voice shaking, like stuttering.
I would be
and at this point,
myself.
like I was mostly fine until I went back and watched the video on my camera, and of the part where I walked into the living room and I heard the thud, and like I could hear it in the video, so I knew it wasn't in my head.
That video.
So then that's where I called Caden right after. I was like, okay, this isn't in my head. This is for real. There's someone in there. Got to tell Caden.
Yeah, I think we were on the phone for like 10 minutes. At like halfway through, like you actually like started calming down because like you were away. Like I think you like, but the beginning of that it was terrified. Like I don't think I've ever heard you.
I imagine, I'd imagine you'd have to be freaking out, especially since you're literally up there alone with like nobody else going up there, because nobody else visits up there unless you like find like a random stranger that gets lost or they know about it and then just go up there. But I imagine that you were just up there alone, literally like just you and
it was just me,
whatever else or whoever else was up there with you.
1v1.
1v1.
That's what you should have yelled out, like yo, Black Ops 2, Nuke Town 1v1 right now, snipers only.
But like the thing about that was like I thought it was really scary until like the next day when I was telling Pablo at lunch, and I was like, yeah, and the safe was emptied, and that's when it clicked, and I was like, wait, is there a correlation between all this stuff that's going on? Like what was in that safe? What was blah blah blah? Like, I still really want to know like what was in that safe.
And to this day, we will never find out.
We will never find out, and that kills me inside.
That kills me because I've known that building since I was like 5. And then when I hear that story, all of a sudden I'm like, well, sack. That's pretty legit because that building's been abandoned for years, and who knows how long it's been in the condition that it had been in. You saw the little how the stair that's led to the basement was
all wood.
Was like
boarded off.
Carson didn't see that when we first went. That's why I was saying he needs to tell his story, and then we'll talk about when all 3 of us went the first time. Because remember, so the first time we went, like all 3 of us, there was no one there, or at least we didn't hear anyone. So like it's a
not to our knowledge.
Yeah,
we pretty much walked the whole house, so I don't think there was.
We didn't go in the basement.
Yeah, we did.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. Yeah. We did. Because we found the monster house too.
You guys didn't want to go down there, but I was like,
I didn't.
No, we have to go down there. So I let us down
there. When we first went, like, it's abandoned and there's like broken glass in areas, like so someone could like we got in no problem. Like we don't have a key or anything.
Can I add something real quick?
What?
Like Pablo, I don't think you went there after I did, right?
What do you mean? Oh no, I never went back because when you did tell me the story the first time, I was like, we need to go back there. We need to. I was like dead set on it, but we never did.
So like you don't like there was a lot of like stuff on the ground whenever we first went there, but like whenever I went after, like it seemed like it'd been just torn apart, like the walls. Like it seemed like there was something in the walls people were looking for. Like people were just busting in for, like just breaking glass to break glass. Like it seemed like someone just like was told like make a mess, go, because like that's how messed up it was. Like some of the floorboards were pulled off. Like, it was just sketch. It was weird.
So the first time we went, like it's not as bad as when Carson went, but like we went in and like straight off the bat, Carson is like exploring everywhere, like going everywhere. I'm already terrified because as soon as you walk in, like it's these big wooden doors at the front of the house, like horror movie, like to the dot, like.
Oh yeah, everything is in ruins, shattered windows and whatnot.
So, and then there's a giant painting of a Japanese lady. So like I'm just terrified. So I'm staying with Pablo, who knows the house. Carson's running everywhere, like up and down the stairs, like.
And I think even at one point, I think you got up on the roof.
Yeah,
I got up on the roof
because we like cornered him into a room, and he went out on the balcony and climbed up on the roof.
Like I was doing this thing where like I would like hide from him, like see if I could get a little bit of a reaction.
And even
out
then,
of him.
with like the three of us, I was already freaked because honestly, that building always freaked me out. Even as a small child, that place was always freaky to me because it's so big and there's so many rooms. And at that point, it had already been in ruins. So I was like, nah, this place is it gives a like a weird vibe.
It's definitely a weird vibe, but like whenever the first time we went, I really enjoyed it. Like I enjoyed the vibe.
Oh, I could tell. I could tell. You were going all over the place.
I enjoyed that weird feeling because like I would go and I'd like hide from him and like see if I could like get a reaction out of him while I was hiding. Like they'd go out to the window like Carson, and like try to like figure out where I was and like. I don't know why. I just wanted to see what they'd do if I was like being held captive somewhere.
I think once you got up on the top of the roof, at that point I was like, oh, like I'm out, and I didn't tell either of you this, or I may have. I don't think I did. Though. I was at that point. I was ready to get out of there. I was like, I would just want to get out of here because after that, I think we went back downstairs into the kitchen to look at the safe.
Yeah, and then after we saw the safe, I was like, okay, we have to go to the basement. Like it's boarded off. Like we have to go down there.
The thing is Pablo, while you were hiding, Pablo told me about how his dad had to border off the basement because like people kept coming in and like he had to. But we did.
Told me that after.
We didn't tell you that originally.
He told me after.
I swear, I think we all three looked at it though. I think we all three literally looked at the staircase.
We were looking at it, and Pablo was like, "Yeah, people used to come here all the time," and so he boarded off. Then I was like, "Okay, let's go down there," and. Like you guys didn't want to, so I led, and you guys just followed behind.
I mean,
well, for obvious reasons.
Yeah, for
like,
real.
I get why you wouldn't want to go down there. But, like I was just so curious at the time, so we went down there, and there was like a pool table, right?
Yeah, it was a pool table,
like
and
a pool table.
All the walls were ripped out. All the walls were ripped out. It had all the
walls
pink
were ripped.
stuff.
The insulation was like out of it a little bit. Like it was connected to multiple rooms, but like it was definitely like. Broken down.
It was definitely torn up. So, and I think that's what really like the fact that the building was like in bad condition. That really set like the tone of like, all right, this is comically horrific. This is like that horror movie trope that we all see. And for me personally, that house is just. I mean, I'm kind of sad it was. Demolished because I really wanted to go back and like
the bando.
Yeah, get back into that bando, trapping out the bando, but and then I was like, I don't know, because when you told me that story, I was like, I really want to go back now. I really want to.
Yeah, we said on that original podcast that if we got 10 likes on the video, that we would go back and stay the night.
We got 16, and it was torn down.
Yeah.
They should have told us.
Plus, I think in that building alone, I think we were just basically breathing in tons of dust.
Yeah.
It had a view though, like
it did have a view. I mean, that was the point of it, and the view was crazy. Like no matter how like scary the house was, like if you walked out
onto like the back porch kind of area and looked at
You
the
wouldn't
view,
think anything of it.
you'd forget about the house completely. Like,
Or if you went into the tower that was near the house, you would
oh
completely forget about everything. Like you wouldn't think, oh, horror. No, you'd think, oh, beautiful scenic view.
The tower, I kind of still thought horror because like it's surrounded by bamboo, and it's this big spiral staircase. It's kind of like, it kind of looks like a mini lighthouse.
Basically, yeah, that's
And
a good way to explain
it's
it.
right next to the. It's not right next to it, but it's pretty close to the house. And like when I see that, I immediately think like that's where you get chased to with a murder. Like you lock the door behind you, and you get to the top, and then he breaks in, and you like try to jump off
Have
and end
to
up dying.
jump.
Like break your leg and have to try to run.
Good times.
And it's sad because I want to go back there and like explore the safe more.
Yeah, and so we went back one day. Oh no, Pablo wasn't with it. That was Jared.
What? Oh yeah, we didn't go in the house.
Yeah, because it was torn down. We went
We
went to that other one.
The actual tower, the rain,
No. I'm talking about the house.
the other house, the house beside it.
Yeah.
And I punched that window.
There's another abandoned house right next to it. And one day
It's like the guest house kind of thing.
Carson, I, and one of our friends, kind of, he doesn't talk to us anymore. So, but we went in there, and Carson hadn't recently gotten to boxing, but it wasn't that recent. But so Carson was into boxing, still is, and he said he wanted to punch glass because he said he wanted to see if he could break it.
Yeah, I remember that. Y'all were. I think I was on a call with you. I don't remember who it was, but I was. Someone had called me, and then I heard something about Carson's hand bleeding. I was like, God, why?
I think it was me because I didn't break any glass. I was the only one that
like put it on his elbow and like hit the.
Yeah.
It was weird. Like I don't know why he.
Oh, so when we were there, Carson and our friend kept breaking glass, and we heard this car drive by. So we all stop, and like there's a downstairs, and so like we're all kind of like, the order was our friend, myself, and Carson. Carson being closest to the top was like looking out, and like we heard the car stop. And so we're freaking out because like we just destroyed property. Like
I was trying to like be the leader. I was like, go down, keep going down. I'm gonna stay up here.
The thing is, looking back at it, there's no way you could tell like that we broke the glass because there's already broken glass everywhere.
Except my hand was cut from punching it.
But like I think we were more worried about like getting caught inside the house. Like why? Like So they stop, and Carson goes to check, and I try to follow. And Carson's like, no, stay down. So like I'm now at the top of the stairs. Carson's moving towards the front door. And how long did the car stay there?
So they stayed there for like I'd say it felt like 30, but it was probably like 3 minutes. Then they drove forward and then stopped again. And I was like, okay, they're going. Then they stopped. Like, whoa, stop. Go back. And then they just sat there for a little bit. I think they were waiting for someone to come out. And then they just drove off, and then we booked it, right?
Yeah, we booked it.
We booked the car, and then they pulled back up.
Like, they drove past us, but at that point we were out of the house and in the car. So like, like we weren't like we were terrified, but like we weren't as scared because like they had nothing on us.
Yeah,
and like it was like some old guy just like looking around. Like he didn't even like
we waved at him.
Yeah, like he didn't wave back. He looked pissed. But, like, I don't think he actually knew we were in there. Like, he might have, though. But, like, he never did anything, so it didn't matter. But, yeah. Talking about how Carson almost got kidnapped or killed from a drug addict and then cut his hand on glass.
Just assume he's a drug addict.
Well, what else is he doing up there?
I don't know.
Could have been security.
No.
But it doesn't seem likely. I was about to say it doesn't seem likely.
If Carson yelled out, there's no way, like, unless he was like, dude, I'm gonna fuck with this kid.
Dude, that sucks. But I mean, and we went a time after without either of you. It was me, that same friend, my girlfriend from sophomore year, and my girlfriend from freshman year.
I was there one of those times.
But there's this one time you weren't there. And then you know how friend is. He was like, "Oh, bro, let's go punch glass, bro. Let's go punch." And I was like, "Yeah, I don't want to do it again. I just want to see if I could." And I did it pretty easily. He's like, "Bro, I want to go do it so bad." Like,
I remember
trying to show off for my sophomore year girlfriend because he had a big crush on her.
Yeah.
So
I ended up talking to that ex-girlfriend, and she was
which one?
sophomore.
Okay.
And she ended up telling me like how annoying the friend was because he just kept wanting to, and like everyone was just like against it, and he just was trying to act like all big.
And he like wrapped his sweatshirt around his elbow and then put it through one of the
Yeah, he wouldn't even
things.
punch it.
And then he's like, "Carson, you do it." I was like, "No, I really don't want to." He's like, "Just do it." I was like, "Okay, whatever." So I set up, I threw a quick jab at it. It broke. And I was like, "Okay, cool." And then, but like the glass broke really weird, so it cut my hand like, and it didn't cut it bad. Like I was losing a lot of blood, but it cut it to where it was like dripping, I guess we would say. So I got napkins and I was like covering it up. And I was like, "Okay, Jared, we can go now." He's like, "Yeah, let me break one more." And he did it, and I was like, "Okay, cool, we're getting out of here." And they said, "Yeah." And as we were walking out, like I'm covering my hand, like just like trying to get it to stop bleeding, and then this car drives up, and they're like, "Hey, what you guys doing?" And we're like, "Oh, we're just checking it out. Beautiful day, blah blah blah." And of course, I'm the one talking because everyone there is antisocial. And he's like, "Oh, I completely agree. You guys have a great." Drove, and we're like, "Okay," he left. Then he came back around and just like waved at us again. And he left. So, I swear, there's something weird about that place. Like it gives me like Get Out vibes. Like every time I see someone there.
Yeah, I can kind of feel that.
Like Pablo, would you agree?
It kind of feels like anytime
absolutely.
anytime you see someone up there, it kind of feels like they immediately.
It feels wrong because it's like you shouldn't be up here.
But
like the people, like if you've seen the movie Get Out, great movie, I'd recommend watching. The people in that movie, like
basically,
the servants,
are like the people at the top.
Yeah, the people at the top. They act just like them.
Well, obviously, this house is pretty like it's expensive because it's a mansion, so it is surrounded by like other houses similar to it. So everyone there is of a like has more money, like is more rich.
It's like in the middle high class region. I'd say more like leaning towards the high class region.
Every time,
like they're millionaires for sure.
Yeah, but see, I haven't seen Get Out, but every time I see a person up there, I immediately feel like they're out to get you. Like they don't.
Oh yeah.
Like they either like know something or are trying to figure something out, and they want to get you. Like not even necessarily like get you and like report you to security, but I feel like they're honestly there to get you. Because I've only ever seen one person up there that gave like any sort of like friendly gesture. Because I wasn't there when that one guy said, "Hey, like I agree with it." I wasn't there, so like the only friend.
Well, it seemed like fake, like he was a robot. Because I was like, "Yeah, beautiful weather. We're just checking it out." It is, and drove off. It was just so weird.
The only time I've seen someone like give a nice gesture is remember that girl that was running that was closer to our age, and like we waved at her. There's a girl that was probably like early 20s, maybe younger. She was close to our age, and she was running. She wasn't really at the top. No, she was, but she was like running down, like away from it, and like we waved, and she like smiled and waved back. But that was it.
Wonder where she's at now.
That place is interesting.
Yeah, it's a very interesting place.
And then I think after that, I got the idea of like I wanted us to go to these places that were like horrific, and abandoned.
I want to go to that abandoned Wizard of Oz.
Oh yeah.
Because I after that I was like, it would honestly be really cool if we did that, and then like came back and did like a quote unquote podcast / talk about it.
Yeah.
Kind of thing where like we talked about the experiences of it.
Okay, So, Caden, do you have another story you wanted to share? I remember.
Yeah. So
Okay.
every year our school has a has a field trip, and we go to like DC, Boston, and Philly. Uh, our freshman year we went to Philly. Sophomore we went to DC. Junior we went to Boston. And Boston was the place where this. I don't know why I'm talking like that. So it happened in Boston. We went. We went to the Boston Aquarium, and like it was pretty packed. Like,
Yeah.
the only other aquarium I've been to is the Atlanta, which is like, isn't it the biggest aquarium?
Yeah, it's like the biggest aquarium on the east side or something like that.
So
But probably in the US. I don't know. It's pretty huge.
I think it's like might be the biggest in the world, right?
I don't know.
Okay, now look it up. You keep going.
All right. So hold on. Yeah, I think it is.
It's not in the world. Okay, in the US, it's the largest. It's the largest in the US, but not the world.
This I just saw it says it's the biggest in the world.
There's this one in Dubai that said that was like huge.
The Dubai
That's
Mall
not
Aquarium,
shocking.
it says it's 2.64 million gallons. The Georgia is 6.3 million gallons.
For real?
Yeah. So anyway, that's
Well,
beside
yeah.
the point.
Anywho, yeah. Continue.
So the only other aquarium I've been to is the Georgia one. So I don't have anything to compare it to because obviously it's one of the at least top 5 biggest aquariums in the world. I think it's number 1. So
It
like
is number 1. I
so-
saw the list was backwards on my screen.
so this aquarium seemed pretty small. Like I don't know, like it was kind of like a circle. Like it had tanks like circling around everything, and in the middle it had this big tank that had a spiral staircase all the way to the top.
Mm-hmm.
And we were obviously on a school field trip, but like we didn't have to stay together. Like we would get put in there, and our chaperones would be like, you have to be with at least one other person, meet us here at this time. So Carson and I kind of like we hung out with like certain groups, but we, like kind of stayed to just me and him most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason is because there's this group of 3 girls. I think 2 of them were twins, I swear, because they looked almost identical, but like I don't know for sure. And I was like, dude, I want to talk to that group, but like I'm nervous. So Carson the whole entire time is hyping me up. He's like, bro, you can do this. Worst thing that's gonna happen is they tell you no. Like nothing will go that wrong.
I mean, technically that's true.
No, it's not.
You just wait. So
Oh god.
we see these girls the first time, obviously, like we just saw them. It's second time was also an accident, but the third time we were trying to find them because
It was so obvious.
It was so obvious.
So obvious.
The third time, like I didn't have a plan. I was like, let's just see if they're still here. We found them. We made eye contact. They like notice. They know that we're there. They know.
They seemed friendly when we looked at them.
Yeah. Except so we see them. I chicken out because I don't have a plan. Fourth time, I think the fourth time. Is this the fourth time when we made the plan, or was it the fifth time?
Fourth time is we had this strategically whatever plan that like I don't know. I think we like came together and made it. And like in theory, it was a pretty good plan, but obviously.
So it was on the spiral staircase, and we knew they were coming down. I don't remember how we knew, but we knew. I think we like saw them behind us.
We saw them at the top.
Yeah, and we saw they were coming down. So like we went, and they had these like little. They had these little pillars between, and the plan was Carson and I would stand at like the different pillars, but they're like right next to each other, like probably like 15 feet apart. And so he could see everything, and I would catch them, and where I would catch them, Carson and I could make eye contact if like I needed them to come over or anything like that. And so they're walking down. I don't know how, because I don't think I have like the guts to do anything. But I managed to get the guts to come up and talk to him. So I go up to him like, hey. And they're like, hey. And immediately are giving me like weird looks like they know that we've seen them multiple times. Like maybe followed them. Because like we did kind of we weren't like following them. But we'd like find them and then run. Like not run, but like leave. Because like we didn't know what to do. So,
like looking in hindsight, we should have just both walked up.
yeah, we should have. But
neither of us said that either.
Also, before Carson was like, "So which one are you going for?" And I was like, "I honestly would take any of them because they're all attractive. They were all like, I think the twins were more attractive than the non-twin. Like, I think the twins were like a 9.5, and I think the non-twin was like a 9. And so I was like, I'll take any of them. So I go up, I'm like, hey, and I'm immediately shaking. Like, I think I'm shaking to the point of when Carson found out there was someone else in the house. Like, I'm at that level of shaking. And the problem, so like,
I don't know.
No, like Pablo, for real. If not more.
Good God.
So like my whole body's shaking. Like I'm probably sweating. Like I don't even remember, but I probably was sweating. And like I managed to get my body to stop shaking, but my bottom lip was quivering. Like it would not stop shaking, and I had no power over it. So like as I'm talking, it's like my voice like is like shaky because my lip won't stop moving, and I can't get words out. Like I'm stuttering. I'm like just don't know what to do. And so I managed. I was like, "Hey," and they're like, "Hi," and I'm stuttering. Like it sounds better when I just say what was said, but it's not. I was like, so where are you from? They were from the Boston area. I was like, oh, that's cool. I'm from Georgia. And they're like, they didn't even say like, oh, that's cool, or like, oh, really? Like, what are you doing here? They just stared at me.
Cold stare.
And I'm like, so I don't know what to do. So I'm like looking at Carson now, like in the hope he can come and save me. And I'm gonna let you tell, cause like.
So, I look over and like, all I could see was like the top of his head, because one of the girls is like decently tall, and I just see him look at me and like raise his eyebrow. So like, oh shoot, okay, let me see what's going on. So I walk over, and like I didn't plan to engage. I just planned to like walk by and like see what was going on. And so I'm like, the girls were like in my way. So I was like, excuse me, and like sort of like pushed him out of my way. And then Caden, I get there, and I like turn, and like no one's talking. So like, oh, I made this awkward. And then I was gonna like keep walking because it was weird. And then Caden was like, well, okay, bye, thank you. And he walked away.
I said, okay, it was nice meeting you, thanks.
Yeah, I just said it.
And then I started walking away with Carson because I just like, and so like.
So if you think about it, the plane wasn't that bad.
No, the plane wasn't bad.
Like, you started sinking, and I came.
Execution
was poor.
I think the execution was. I don't know. The fail-safe, I think, went pretty well.
Oh yeah, well, because, like, I mean, it worked. Like, it allowed me to get away without making it super. It was still super awkward, but like, it could have been worse.
Could have been way worse.
So obviously we walk away. And Carson's looking at me. He's like, like you talked to 3 girls. Like, if it's 2 or like a single girl, you've got this now. Like, you should have no problem. And like in theory that should work, but like that traumatized me. Like I couldn't talk to a girl outside of like, if I didn't know a girl, I couldn't talk to her for the rest of that trip. Like it scared the crap out of me.
Okay, Pablo. So now I'm gonna see what your opinion is now on that previous topic. Is a blank stare worse than a no?
Is a blank stare worse than a no?
Yep.
No, I don't think so.
What? Okay, I disagree.
Because in my opinion, when you're given a blank stare, at that point you could just be like, all right, yeah, this isn't gonna work out. Thanks for at least somewhat giving me a shot.
But a no
is trying to be nice.
Well, because a no is just like straight up.
A blank stare is like, you're not even worth my answer. It's like,
all right, how about the fact that I couldn't even get to a no because they just wouldn't give me the time of day?
Yeah.
Like anytime.
Then at that point. That alone, they wouldn't give you the time of day. It tells me, well, you're
obviously
not even worth my time.
That's why I got out of there. I would have rather have gone up and been like, hey, and then been like, no, like, I'd been okay if they're like, no, we have boyfriends, and I'd be like, oh, okay, like I don't care, lie to me, like I would have preferred that.
I would have preferred them to be like, no, you're ugly.
Yeah,
like,
dude, I would have.
Hey,
I'm not okay.
That's just cool with me.
If they would have called me ugly, it probably would have hurt me worse. I'm not gonna lie.
If they would have called me ugly, I'd been like, all right.
But the thing is,
I get it. It's all good.
I think it's hilarious.
But Carson went and started like telling people that were also on the trip,
Oh yeah, I did.
And
I made it to where it sounded
no,
good.
I know. He was like, dude, Caden just went and talked to 3 girls, and then I would pop up. Yeah, it went the worst possible way. And then he would keep telling me like, you could make it.
Yourself short.
No, I didn't. That was what happened.
I would have been like, I mean, it was going
Bro, I
decent, and then it just kind of fell apart. But
dude,
I went up
I
to
tried.
Caden, and I was like, dude, you could sell this up a little bit. Like, no one saw it. No one was even there. He was like, I know, but like, it went awful.
Like, dude, I just couldn't even lie about it. It was that bad. And then
just understandable.
After that, though, we went. They have this like movie theater right next to the aquarium. We went in there and watched some lame shark documentary.
Best nap of my life.
Best nap ever. The teachers we sat right like 2 rows in front of the teachers. Everyone else in our class, I mean everyone, sat on the opposite side of the theater. So it's Carson and I on like the right side with the teachers behind us. Then everyone else over there. The teachers fall asleep before us, and so we're like, all right, it's good to best nap ever.
Do you want to know how privileged our group was? So it was like 6th floor boys, 7th floor girls, 8th floor. It was me, Caden, and 2 of our friends.
Yeah, we got our own floor. But
and we were just like, so we're the only ones here? And they're like, yeah, I mean, we just picked you guys because, I mean, I don't actually know why. And so they're like, okay, but don't you dare sneak down to the girls. And we were like, oh, okay.
But the thing is in our class, Carson and I and the 2 other boys that we were with have gone. We went on the trip every single year. Like we just had it our last like our senior year in January. We went every year. So like, and we're close with the teachers. Like heck, one of the guys in our room.
We were kind of the it group.
Yeah, one of the guys in our group, his mom is a teacher and a chaperone on the so like
and the other one.
Not for our senior one though. For our 3 previous ones though.
Sophomore. I'm talking sophomore. Or not sophomore, junior. When we went to
Junior was Boston.
Boston, yeah, we went to Boston that time.
Yeah, so like, and the main guy, we're all super close with. So like,
yeah, he's our soccer coach.
So anything like where like one group had to do something, like we were that group. Like this last one in January, we had to go and buy subway cards for everyone. And instead of we were short on chaperones. We only had 3 chaperones for 40 kids. So like, instead of like having the 3 chaperones go, or having 2 chaperones go, and then one managing all the kids, they left 2 chaperones, and then the main guy took us to go and do it. Like 4 seniors just having fun because we just got pulled away from the group, and
that trip was like that was a good trip in my opinion. It wasn't as good as Philly, but it was a good trip.
It wasn't. The thing is like what we actually did wasn't that great because the government was shut down, so we didn't even see everything. But the fact that we were the it group and could almost do whatever, like it was a good trip.
It was really good. Dude, that trip was the first time I like talked to a girl with the intent of like getting her number.
But
like a random girl with the intent of getting her number.
When we went to the subway, how much money did Coach?
500.
No, it was way more than that because 6 cards was $130, and we had 40 kids. So like, I'm not gonna do the math, but we spent.
We were like pulling out our own money to like.
I think he had $1,000 on him.
Something like that.
So anyway,
streets of Boston.
No, this was DC.
DC. God, I keep mixing them up.
But he's like, he tells us this, and he's like, "All right, guys, so I have $1,000 on me right now in cash. So like, don't make it obvious. Like, don't bring any attention." I was like, as soon as we get down there, I was like, I'm gonna yell, "Hey, this guy's got I was like, I'm gonna yell to one of our friends, "Hey, this guy's got $1,000 on it." But we went down, and like he was like serious the whole time, and like parts where we needed to be serious, we were serious, but like other than that, we were goofing off the whole entire time.
It ate like a bunch of money. I was beating up the machine.
Yeah, Carson started punching it, and then the guy came over, hit like 12 buttons, and it like gave us it gave us our money back, didn't it?
It gave us our money back. I was trying to like memorize what he was doing, but then I was like, okay, it didn't work. So I turned around, then I turned back around, the money just spits out.
Yeah, because
And
like
I
he
tried to
messed up.
copy it. It
He
didn't
messed
work.
up at the beginning, and then it like I don't even know. But the thing is with the subway cards, if you have to pay $8 and you put in $10, the dollars it gives you back are gold coins.
Yeah.
Like gold dollar coin. I don't know why I said that. I thought that was cool. Well, because I spent some of my money, so I was one of the people that got the change back. So I got the gold dollar coins. I still have them. I didn't. I was like, this is cool.
And to add on to the school trips, I don't know why, but excluding freshman year, Caden and I always have this weird like thing where we feel the need to interact with random girls.
Yeah,
it's so weird.
So sophomore year, we went to DC. We went to DC sophomore and senior year. Sophomore year, I hung out with two. They were juniors at the time. No, one was a senior, one was a junior. And the senior was a guy, the junior was a girl. The junior is actually the girlfriend I was talking about for my first story.
Oh yeah.
But we weren't dating yet. So the senior had this idea because we went to the Lincoln Monument. And there's these girls trying to give everyone high fives, and they're seeing who could get more high fives. So after that, the senior was like, me being a sophomore, was like, hey, you should see how many girls you can high five. And I was like, okay. And like we started doing it, and then he got the idea. He's like, how about every time I see a girl that is somewhat attractive, and like you think she's attractive too, and I say you have to give her a high five, you have to go and ask for a high five. So I said yes. So
so weird.
I know it was but it was fun. Like it was a fun thing to do because like anytime I wouldn't do it at the beginning, he's like no balls, and for some reason I was like, okay, now I have to do it, and I would do it. And the funny thing is, I had so much confidence on this trip, but the year after was the 3-girl trip, and it just scarred me.
Mm-hmm.
But like none of them were like super crazy until we got to the Space Museum, where there's this group of 5 girls, and he's like, go ask for a high five from all of them. I was like, all right. So I walk up to him. I was like, hey, can I get a high five? And one of them was like, yeah, you can have a high five and you can have my number. But the thing is, I didn't see which one said it. And 3 of the 5 girls I didn't find attractive. And so like I turn around and I'm like to go. Away. Well, I turned around originally. Then I turned back around to like see which one had said it, but I didn't know. And so I got scared. And so I ran. I don't know why I ran, but I did. And, there's this one girl who was with her family, but she was by herself. I didn't even know her family's there. She's by herself the whole time, like sitting down, like just in the middle, like for no reason, like up against a wall. And he was like, go ask for a high five. So I did. He said, go ask her again for a high five. So I did it. Third time, he's like, go ask for another high five. I was like, you know what? If I don't have to high five her again, I will sit down and have a conversation. He's like, all right. So I sit down. This girl is not having it. Like she doesn't want to have a conversation. I was confident though. Like I still had a conversation. It was a decent conversation. You could just tell she didn't want a conversation. So it's like, oh hey. She's like, hey. I was like, where are you from? I think she was from like I don't even remember. But
we're not gonna cuss on the podcast.
I didn't say that. I just said no. No N-word.
I've been not doing
it. But so anyway, like that conversation happens. 2 minutes later, I see her dad come out. And it's this bald buff dude, and I'm like, oh shit. So I kept my distance from her for the rest of the trip. But junior year, obviously, I went and tried to talk to the 3 girls. I just didn't work out. And then senior year, that was you.
Yeah, that was a lot of me. So there's this joke I had with like the head guy there. I was like, I'm trying to find a wife so I can get some free college. And he was like, yeah, you're going to find a wife here. Good luck, blah, blah, blah. Like, saying I didn't have any game and whatnot. So I made it a priority to just, like, let him know I had game. So I still have them. I have, like, 4 or 5 pictures of me with, like, random girls at, like, national monuments. It's like, I have this picture of me with, like, 5 girls that were holding up the Vatican flag. Just, like, right in front of the Lincoln. Then I have a picture with me and these 2 girls in front of the White House. Picture with me and another group of girls right outside the Lincoln Memorial. There was a good amount. I don't know how else to explain it, but then like the big one Oh, do you want to add something?
No, I want you to finish first.
Okay. Then, like, the big one, because he didn't see any of this, because he was, like, at the meeting spot, and I was just over there goofing around. So then we stopped to go to the bathroom in Dick's Sporting Goods. And
Yeah, I was in the bathroom.
Caden was in the bathroom while this happened. And Coach, I was like, Coach, if I see some wifey material in here, can I, like, try to get her? And he's like, yeah, you can try. And I was like, okay, all right. And we go in. It's not looking good. It's scarce. I don't see a soul in there.
Well, it's also
it's also
it was pretty late. It was like 9, which isn't super late, but to be at Dick's, it was like
This was in Tennessee.
Yeah, we stopped at a Chick-fil-A and everyone had to use the bathroom, and so there was one stall and one urinal, and everyone had to use the stall.
Yeah.
And so the main guy, who's also been called coach because he was our coach, he was like, all right, I'll take y'all to Dick's, which was right across the street. So he took us, and it was Carson and I and one other guy, but he really isn't much of the story.
So I'm there, like, looking, scouting, because Caden's in the bathroom.
Yeah, it took a while.
And I'm like, okay, I'm looking for somebody. I see her from behind first. I'm like, oh, she got curly hair. She seems short. She could be like 30, but like, look really young from the back. But I'm gonna take my chance. So I walked up and I was like, excuse me. And she like turned around and looked at me like I had a question. And Coach was watching from like a little bit ago. He was like acting like he was looking at clothes, but like obviously staring. And I was like, excuse me. So I'm in a bit of I'm having some trouble right now. She was like, what? And I said, so I'm about to go to college soon, and I am trying to get some free college because I can't really afford the tuition. And I just I'm trying to find a wife. She's like, oh, a wife. And I was like, yes, a wife. And I think, and she's like, so why did a wife? And I just explained it, but I explained it again. She's like, so you're asking me to be your wife? I'm like, yes, I'm proposing right now. And she laughed a little bit and was like, yeah, that sounds good. And she's like, wait, how old are you? I was like, well, I'm 18. She's like, oh, I'm 21. I was like, well, that's not even that much. And I could tell by her face, she's like, yeah, it kind of is, but whatever. I was like, okay, like, she's like, okay, are you messing with me? I said, no, my contacts are open right here. And I just handed her my phone. And she sat there for like 10 seconds, like thinking about it. She's like, okay. And then she put her number in and said, I don't get off till later. So you're going to have to wait till a while to text me. And I said, okay, that's all right. Then I said, all right, you have a good night. And I left.
Didn't text her.
Like, yeah, way better than I thought.
So during the time in front of the White House when you were taking pictures with a girl, there's these two girls that like ended up in our group. Like they were mid-20s, maybe even late 20s. And one of them thought it would be funny to come up to me and like pat me on the back and be like, yo, what? I don't even remember.
What name did she say?
It was Chris or Tom, and I don't know why. I can't remember.
It was Tom.
Well, she was like,
yelling. She yelled it loud.
She was like, yo, Tom. And I just like looked at her and I was like, no. And then, because I thought she was like, for some reason I was like, I thought she was being genuine, and her friend goes, stop, it's not funny. And so I realized it was a joke, and I was like, man, I wish I would have known that. I would have played along. Been like, yeah.
I said, yeah, Tom, what's up? Okay, enough about us. Pablo.
I was just gonna say, I'm gonna take the reins here for a second and say we should wrap up soon, because we've reached the hour mark.
I think we've reached the hour and a half mark.
Yo, this is good. Yeah,
for me, on my time, it says we've reached the hour and 13-minute mark.
Yo, this was supposed to be a short one.
Yeah, let's say.
So, who wraps it up? How are we going to do this?
All right, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed our podcast. It was definitely not what we expected.
Unorthodox.
Yeah.
It's not always going to be like this.
It'll probably always be like this.
But we're going to have a general topic.
Yeah, we'll try to stay on topic better, but when us three get in a conversation, it can go anywhere.
In reality, whatever we throw at you, you accept.
Yeah.
And you'll like it.
But in terms of topics, it'll probably be a lot better planned next time because in reality, this was a spark of the moment.
Yeah.
So.
Also, go ahead.
Okay, and rate the podcast and put which topic you'd like us to talk about on the rating.
So, also, I just wanted to mention not every podcast might be this long because I feel like that's a problem. We try to reach the 1 hour mark, but I feel like we should stop that and just do a topic, and however long it is however long it is.
It's however long it is. Yeah.
But
I think 30 minutes is long enough.
Yeah, I think we'll aim for 30 minutes at the minimum, but you guys
hour 30 max.
Also, we're trying to get this on iTunes. If we manage to get it on iTunes, rate us 5 stars and
give us all high ratings and great comments.
Give us a topic and
anything you want to say. We're hilarious.
Tell your
we're so interesting that like you feel like you want to be our friends.
If you rate us 5 stars, we'll read out your review at the
beginning. We're getting off topic again.
All right. I hope you.
All right, y'all have a good night. Love you.